assurance systems. You have funding reforms that move you from a front-loaded, you get this amount of money because you're an institution, through you get this amount of money because you've got this amount of students, through to eventually being results-based. And you have this language of managed autonomy. We want to take the civil servants, the local education authority, sounds a bit familiar. We want to take that level out and give autonomy to the institution, but we're going to manage it by giving them lots of targets, lots of things they have to report back on, and they won't get the money unless they do what they're told. So it's autonomy, but it's pretty heavily managed at the same time. So it's a set of reforms that's very familiar to people in the British system, I think. And of course, there have been a set of critiques, which I'm going to call neo-Marxist. They certainly started off there, they got diluted over time. Many of you, can think back to classic literature of the mid-70s. Paul Willis, Bowles and Gintis. Education is reproduction of the class system. So there's a big literature, and vocational education is there for those people who have failed in the school system, to keep them quiet, to put them somewhere safe in the system, and it's functional for capitalism. So that was the first strand of it. And then the second strand, and Braverman, John will remember Braverman, yeah.
Great John.
Was the key person on this, the de-skilling thesis, that capitalism also over time tends to a tailor's reduction of the skill level. It's in the boss's interest to reduce workers' skills so they can pay them less. And, so a Marxist critique of these things, so de-skilling, education as reproduction. Of course, as the 90s moved on, we had a critique of new public management. Many of you, would think of Stephen Ball's work in schooling as an example of this, but people like Dennis Gleason in the education sector writing about, the FE sector writing about similar processes going on. So we had a critique of what was going on, how this was, driving the system. And then a broader literature that's drawing from education, from sociology, from institutional economics, from geography, a whole range of disciplines, that's trying to develop a political economy account of skills. Here I'm thinking of kind of the French regulationist school, who were arguing that in the 1970s the advanced capitalist states had changed into a new era, where there was an argument that's been popularised as post-Fordism back then, but now it's kind of gone into new knowledge-based economy kind of stuff more recently. So we can't understand skills